Welcome students, welcome in Sanjeevan Knowledge Cities, Chhatrapati Shivaji Junior College, online teaching classes. For 11th standard, we are going to learn English lecture today. I, Mrs. Chandani ma'am, I am going to teach you a poem from your textbook. The poem is 2.1, that is Cherry Tree. This poem is written by Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond is called as an Indian poet. He had lived in Himachal Pradesh with his adopted family in India. When he was small, he had to go through a very adverse conditions through poverty. Means जेव्हा रस्किन बॉन्ड हे लहान होते, चाइल्ड होते, in his childhood he had to suffer a lot due to poorness or poverty, की दारिद्र्य किंवा गरिबी यामुळे लहानपणी त्यांना खूप त्रास सहन करावा लागलेला आहे, as he was living with his adopted family. Afterwards, when he wrote many poems, then he became famous and also he had become a rich person. Now in this poem, we are going to study about a child who has sown म्हणजे पेरणे, who has sown a seed of a cherry. चेरी तुम्ही खूपदा खाल्ली असेल. हे फ्रूट मोस्टली केक्सच्या वरती वगैरे किंवा आईस्क्रीमवरती वगैरे तुम्ही खाल्लं असेल. तर ते जे चेरीचं फ्रूट आहे त्यामधील बी म्हणजे सीड हे त्याने पुरलेलं असतं लहानपणी. अँड देन द चेरीज वन प्लांट हॅज ग्रोन अप and it went through lot of adverse conditions. It has to suffer a lot, but at the end the cherry tree had become full grown and it has got many flowers. There were blossom of flowers and even many fruits. In this particular poem, what we are going to study, what the poem gives us a message, की या पोएम मधून आपल्याला मेसेज काय मिळतो, that everybody should fight with the adverse conditions or with the person who tries to make hurdles into the path of your own progress. Try and understand. If you are wishing to make your dreams complete, and in that particular way, if there are any hurdles, if there are any problems, you should not give up your tries, but you should continue your efforts and you should overcome on that, and at the end you will get lot of benefits from it. Sometimes also another message is there, that sometimes we are doing some small deeds, some small actions, and afterwards that particular actions can be lot of beneficial to us. की आपण कळत न कळत छोटीशी एखादी कृती करून जातो, जी कृती चांगली असते आणि नंतर आपण विसरून जातो त्या कृतीबद्दल. पण खूपदा असं होतं की पुढे जाऊन भविष्यात त्या कृतीमुळे आपल्याला खूप मोठा फायदा मिळू शकतो. हा एक मेसेज यामधून आहे. म्हणजेच काय, दिस पोएम इज गिविंग अस टू मेसेजेस, की या पोएम मधून आपल्याला दोन मेसेजेस मिळतात. नाउ लेट्स स्टडी द पोएम line wise, and if I'm going to teach you each and every line of the poem. See, 8 years have passed since I placed my cherry seed in the grass. See, he is saying that how many years? 8 years had passed. He is saying that 8 years had passed, means before 8 years he has did what his action was, that he has placed a cherry seed in the grass, somewhere in the grassy ground. He has placed the cherry seed. बघा, त्याने काय केलं की 8 वर्षापूर्वी The narrator is saying that 8 years before he has placed one cherry's seed into grass. की गवत असलेल्या एका जमिनीत त्याच्या अंगणात त्याने काय केलेलं आहे की चेरीचं सीड जे आहे, बीज जे आहे ते पेरलेलं आहे. Must have a tree of my own, I said. And why he has placed that seed into the particular that grassy land? Because he thought he had one ambition or he had something planning. की त्याला एक विचार आला होता. He has thought that he should have his own cherry tree. की त्याला स्वतःचं, माझं स्वतःचं असं एक चेरीचं झाड हवंय असं त्या कवीला वाटलं, किंवा आपण असं म्हणू की नरेटरला वाटलेलं आहे. Narrator has thought that he should have his own cherry tree, and so that he has placed a small cherry seed into a grassy land and watered it once and went to bed and forgot. He was a small child that time. He has placed that seed into grassy land. He has watered it only once. And then he went to bed. He slept over there. And the next morning he had forgotten totally. जशी लहान मुलं करतात अगदी तसंच त्याने केलेलं आहे. की त्याने काय केलं की ते जे चेरीचं सीड आहे, बी आहे, तर ते जमिनीत पेरलेलं आहे. तो त्या रात्री झोपी गेलेला आहे. एकदाच फक्त त्याने त्याला पाणी दिलेलं आहे. नंतर त्याने त्याला पाणी दिलेलं नाही. तो झोपी गेलेला आहे. दुसऱ्या दिवशी सकाळी उठल्यानंतर हा जो कवी आहे तर त्या सीड विषयी पूर्णतः विसरून गेलेला आहे. ही हॅज फॉरगॉटन इट ॲट ऑल. सी ही सेड, बट चेरीज हॅव अ वे ऑफ ग्रोईंग. बट नेचर इज देअर. निसर्ग आहे. चेरीज हॅव इट्स ओन वेज ऑफ ग्रोईंग. ग्रोईंग म्हणजे वाढणे. की चेरींचं एक स्वतःची अशी पद्धत असते, एक मार्ग असतो स्वतःचा ग्रो होण्याचा, वाढण्याचा. Though no one's caring very much or knowing, even though no one is knowing about the cherry seeds or no one is caring about it. पहा, आपण कुंडांमध्ये झाडं लावतो, त्यांची काळजी घेतो, त्यांना पाणी घालतो, खत घालतो, पण जंगलामध्ये जी झाडं येतात, वाईल्ड प्लांट्स, no one is caring about them, no one is going to water them, but then too they are naturally growing. In the same way, the poet is saying that even though no one is knowing about the cherry seed, no one is caring about it, then too the cherry tree is growing itself. संस्कार गवासारखं करू नको. And suddenly that summer near the end of May, and suddenly अचानक काय झालं? At the end of the May month, the poet is saying that May month च्या एंडला, अगदी एंडला, शेवटी काय झालेलं आहे? I found a tree had come to stay. See what is saying? I found, मला असं आढळलं काय? A tree has come to stay. See, personification figure of speech is used here. Personification figure of speech चा वापर केलेला आहे इथे. आपल्या घरी पाहुणे येतात, गेस्ट येतात, आपले फ्रेंड्स येतात, अँड दे आर सेइंग वी वॉन्ट टू स्टे ॲट युअर होम. की आपण दरवाजा उघडतो आणि पाहतो समोर कोणतरी सरप्रायझिंग म्हणून आपले रिलेटिव्स, पाहुणे वगैरे येतात. पण असं होतं का की सकाळी आपण दरवाजा उघडलाय उठून आणि समोर एखादं झाड आल्यानं म्हणतो की मी आज तुमच्या घरी राहणार आहे? होतं का? नाही होत, हो की नाही? म्हणजेच काय, तर इथं प्लांटला पर्सॉनिफाय केलेलं आहे. The plant is personified over here. Try and understand. Personification figure of speech is used very beautifully. He is saying that I found a tree had come to stay. It was very small, 5 months child. He is saying that the tree was very small. छोटंसं झाड आहे. It was 5 months child. 5 महिन्यांचं बाळ असतं ना, तसं छोटंसं 5 months child आहे. Lost in the tall grass running wild. जणू काही एखादं छोटंसं 5 महिन्याचं बाळ हे रनिंग वाईल्ड, अतिशय सैरावेला पळत सुटलेलं आहे आणि उंच अशा ग्रासमध्ये, गवतामध्ये हरवून जात आहे. तसं हे जे प्लांट आहे चेरीचं, हे काय झालेलं आहे? इट हॅज लॉस्ट अमंग द ग्रास. मीन्स वॉट? We are unable to identify that there is a cherry tree. Around that cherry tree there is tall grass grown. की एवढं उंच गवत वाढलेलं आहे की त्या गवतातून हे चेरीचं प्लांट जे आहे ते ओळखून येत नाही. इट goats ate the leaves. The grass cutter sighed, split it apart, and monsoon blight shriveled the slender stem. In these 3 lines, we are coming to know that there is threatening to the life of the plant, cherry plant, which is very small one. First threatening, or we can say that first attack on its life is by goats. Goats ate its leaves, and then second attack is by the grass cutter. The grass cutter has came and it has scythed it. Scythe म्हणजे विळा. It has sliced it, split apart. Means ग्रास कटर जो आहे तर तो आलेला आहे आणि त्याने काय केलेलं आहे, गवत कापत असताना त्याने ते प्लांट जे आहे ते सुद्धा कट केलेलं आहे. द स्लेंडर स्टेम वॉज ओनली देअर अँड ऑल्सो द मान्सून हॅज ब्लाइटेड. मीन्स वॉट? So heavy rain was there in monsoon that due to that the stem had become shriveled. It has shriveled. Shriveled means what? Wrinkled, or we can say that shrunk. म्हणजे काय की कोमेजून जाणे किंवा वाळणे किंवा सुकणे अशा या अर्थाने सुद्धा आपण shriveled याचा अर्थ घेऊ शकतो. द स्लेंडर स्टेम. This is even so, next spring I watched 3 new shoots grow. Now see, so many 3 attacks are there on the life of the cherry trees plant. Then too, we are expecting that the cherry tree would be not live now, but instead of dying the cherry tree, the next spring the poet, to his surprise, he saw that there are 3 new shoots. Shoots म्हणजे अंकुर येणे, की त्याला नवीन 3 shoots अंकुर आलेले त्या कवीला दिसलेले आहेत. The young tree struggled upward, thrust its arms in a fresh fire's lust for light and air and sun. Now we are coming to know that the young tree, this is a very young tree and it is struggling for its life. It has thrust upwards its arms. Arms means hands. Now here the cherry tree is personified. Personification हे figure of speech इथे यूज केलेलं आहे की हे जे चेरीचं झाड आहे ते आपले आर्म्स म्हणजे आपले हात, आपले बाहूवरती थर्स्ट करते म्हणजे जोरात शक्तीनिशी वरती प्रेस करत आहे असं थोडंसं मीनिंग यामध्ये आहे. Now try and understand, the tree is not having arms but it is having branches. But here the poet has used a personification figure of speech की चेरी ट्रीला पर्सनचं इमॅजिनेशन केलेलं आहे आणि जसे लहान मुलं आपले हात वरती करतात when they are wanting something, in the same way cherry tree has also thrust its arms means branches upside. For what? Because of the fire's fresh lust. Lust means greediness, ज्याला आपण लोभीपणा सुद्धा म्हणू शकतो. For the lust of what? For the lust of light, air and sun. Light, sunlight and fresh air it want for its own growth. And so the cherry tree has thrust upside its branches so that it can get fresh sunlight and air. I could only wait as one who watched wandering while time and the rain made a miracle from green glowing pen. Now see, I could only wait as one who watched a wandering while. See, each and every word is starting with V sound. Who watched wandering while. all four words are starting with v sound. It is a fine example of alliteration figure of speech. की alliteration figure of speech किती सुंदर वापरलेलं आहे पहा इथे. See, he is saying that I could only wait. The poet is not helping that tree for its growth, but he has to only wait. As for what? When as the time is passing, as many rainy seasons or monsoons are passing, the painful tree, the tree which has suffered, which has got pains, it can create some miracle or magic. Miracle म्हणजे जादू, मॅजिक, की काहीतरी जादू यामधून घडणार आहे त्या प्लांटमधून, ज्याला एवढे पेन्स मिळालेले आहेत, दुःख मिळालेले आहेत, यातना मिळालेले आहेत, ते मी फक्त वाट पाहत होतो. जसजसा कालावधी जाईल, वेळ जाईल, तसं. आय वेंट अवे नेक्स्ट इयर, स्पेंट अ सीझन इन काश्मीर, केम बॅक थिनर, रॅदर पुअर. नाउ सी, the poet is saying that he has went next year to Kashmir and he has spent one season over there. Many times the poet used to visit Kashmir whenever he wanted to write some books. And when he came back, when he returned, he was thinner म्हणजे अतिशय बारीक झालेले होते. And rather poor means economically, आर्थिकदृष्ट्या ते थोडे गरीब झाले होते आणि अतिशय बारीक असे शारीरिकदृष्ट्या झालेले होते. But richer, he is saying, but richer by a cherry tree at my door. But when he saw that his own cherry tree at his own doorstep, he felt lot of happiness and he felt as if he has become now richer. की या कवीला एवढा आनंद झालेला आहे आपल्या चेरीच्या झाडाला पाहून, दरवाजाजवळ असलेल्या, तर की त्याला आपण खूप श्रीमंत झालो आहोत असं वाटत आहे. सी, 6 feet high my own dark cherry. He is saying now that his tree has grown up to 6 feet high and it has become dark green color. की त्याने लावलेलं जे छोटंसं सीड होतं त्याचं आता झाड 6 फूट उंच झालेलं आणि अतिशय डार्क असं ग्रीन कलर त्याला आलेला आहे. I could scarcely believe it a berry and he saw that there was one berry. की एक छोटंसं फ्रूट चेरीचं त्याला लागलेलं होतं आणि तो म्हणतो की आय कुड स्केअर्सली और हार्डली मीन्स ही कुड नॉट बिलीव ऑन हिज ओन आईज दॅट देर इज अ स्मॉल फ्रूट ऑन द चेरी ट्री. तो म्हणतो की मला विश्वासच बसत नाही माझ्या डोळ्यांवर की त्या झाडाला एक छोटंसं फळ लागलेलं आहे, एक बेरी लागलेली आहे. बेरी अँड चेरी बोथ द वर्ड्स आर सिनोनिम. Ripened and jeweled in the sun, and that berry has been ripened म्हणजे पिकणे, की ते जे फ्रूट होतं ते पिकलेलं होतं, राईप झालेलं होतं. and it was looking like a jewel, की एखादं ज्वेल मीन्स व्हॅल्युएबल स्टोन जसं असतो, एखादा हिरा, मोती, माणिक ह्यासारखं ते असं सनशाईनमध्ये चमकत होतं. इट वॉज शायनिंग लाईक अ ज्वेल. इथं मेटाफॉर फिगर ऑफ स्पीच यूज केलेला आहे. hung from a branch just one, संपूर्ण झाडामध्ये फक्त एकाच फांदीला एकच बेरीचं फ्रूट हंग होत होतं, लटकलेलं होतं आणि ते पाहून कवीला अतिशय आनंद झालेला आहे. अँड नेक्स्ट इयर देअर वेअर ब्लॉझम्स स्मॉल. अँड नेक्स्ट इयरमध्ये पुढच्या वर्षी त्यांनी असं पाहिलं की तिकडे त्या झाडावरती ब्लॉझम्स मीन्स बहर आलेला होता. मेनी फ्लावर्स आर ऑन द ट्री, इट इज कॉल्ड ॲज ब्लॉझम. बहर येणं असं आपण म्हणतो. अनेक फुलं जेव्हा फ्लावर्स एखाद्या ट्रीवरती लागतात तेव्हा त्याला आपण म्हणतो की त्याला बहर आलेली आहे. देअर वॉज ब्लॉझम्स on that tree, and see how he is describing that blossoms or that flowers. Small, pink, fragile, quick to fall. Small, छोटे, pink, the color of flowers are pink, and फ्रजाईल मीन्स व्हॉट? फ्रजाईल मीन्स आपण त्याला म्हणतो की अतिशय नाजूक. अँड क्विक टू फॉल ॲट द मियरेस्ट ब्रीथ, द स्लिपेस्ट ब्रीज. Even though we are taking small breath in front of that flask, the flasks are quickly falling down. की आपण श्वास जरी जोराने घेतलो त्या फ्लास्क जवळ तर ते फ्लास्क खाली गळून पडतात. Even at the sleepiest breeze, breeze is sleeping. Here again personification figure of speech is used. Sleepiest breeze means what? Even though there is no wind blowing, they too the flasks are falling down. So fragile these flowers are. एवढे नाजूक ती फुले आहेत की अतिशय हळूवार मंद अशी वाऱ्याची झुळूक जरी आली तरीही त्या झुळकेमुळे ती फ्लावर्स जे आहेत ते गळून पडतात. आय ले ऑन द ग्रास ॲट इज. ॲट इज म्हणजे आरामात. आरामात कवी त्या झाडाच्या खाली पहुडलेला आहे, झोपलेला आहे. आय ले ऑन द ग्रास ॲट इज, looking up through leaves at the blue blind sky. And he was looking through the tree upwards toward the blue sky. And how is the sky? Blue blind sky. Again sky is personified. Again we are saying that here alliteration figure of speech is used. Blue blind sky. At the finches as they flew and flitted through the dappled green. Finches means small birds. Finches म्हणजे काय? छोटेसे हे पक्षी. As they are flying. How they are flying? As if they are flitted. Flitted means was glittered. की अतिशय हळूवारपणे ते एका फांदीवरून दुसऱ्या फांदीवरती तरंगत येत आहेत असं वाटावं इतके हळूवारपणे ते फ्लाइंग करतात. As the finches flew and flitted through the dappled green tree. Dappled green tree means what? The green color is at sometimes some places it is faint and at some places it is dark. So it is called as dappled green tree. Same. While bees in an ecstasy drank of nectar. Honey bees are also there who are taking benefit of that tree. Bees are drinking nectar. Nectar means the sweet sweet liquid which is produced by each and every flower, which is converted afterwards into honey, is called as nectar. की ज्याला आपण मधुरस म्हणतो की फळांच्या आतमध्ये असलेला गोड असा जो स्त्रव असतो तर तो स्त्रव जो आहे तर तो रस ते हनी बीज म्हणजे मधमाशा पीत आहेत. दे आर ड्रिंकिंग इन अन इक्टसी. इक्टसी मीन्स हॅपीनेस, लॉट ऑफ हॅपीनेस, ज्याला आपण अत्यानंद होणे असं म्हणतो. की दीज हनी बीज आर ड्रिंकिंग नेक्टर विथ इक्टसी फ्रॉम ईच अँड एव्हरी ब्लो. अँड द सन सॅंक. सी, and the sun sank. Sun sank, alliteration figure of speech is there. Sun sank means सूर्यास्त झालेला, there is sunset. Swiftly and the stars turned in the sky. The sun sank swiftly. अतिशय हळुवारपणे सूर्यास्त झालेला आणि मग काय झालेलं की आकाशामध्ये कोण आलेले? स्टार्स. The stars turned into the sky. Personification figure of speech is used. की काय झालेलं आहे की स्टार्स हळुवारपणे आकाशात आलेले आहेत. And moon moths and singing crickets. At the night time also there are two more these insects which are taking benefits of these blossoms or flowers. These are moon moths and singing crickets. Moon moths means what? It is a butterfly which color is green and who is having rounds, 2 rounds on each of its wing. की ग्रीन कलरचं एक मोठं असं बटरफ्लाय असतं की ज्याला मून मॉथ्स असं आपण म्हणतो. इफ यू आर इंटरेस्टेड यू कॅन also search on Google moon moths and you will find many images of moon moths over there. See, की रात्री सुद्धा मून मॉथ्स हे जे ग्रीन कलरचे बटरफ्लायज आहेत तर ते आलेले आहेत. अँड ऑल्सो सिंगिंग क्रिकेट्स. क्रिकेट्स means we can say that it is grasshoppers like की grasshopper सारखा एक insect असतो which is making sound continuously, that is called as singing cricket, की तो एक insect आलेला आहे. And I, yes I, praised night and stars and tree. And the poet is saying that yes, I myself was also happy. Why? I was happy to see all that his own tree, which is full of blossoms, which is going to bear many fruits, and so he was very happy. And he has seen that honeybees were there. Then second is finches, birds are there. Third is moon moths. Fifth is singing cricket. And sixth, he himself. Okay, same. And he is saying that I praised night, stars and tree. He started praising night, the stars and also the tree. That small the cherry grown by me. He was very happy. Why? Because he has grown a cherry plant, small cherry seed he has sown. This was small act which is done by him when he was a child, and now after 8 years he had seen that there is 6 feet high cherry tree at his doorstep. And so we are learning from this poem that even though knowingly or unknowingly we are doing small things which are very important for us, they can bring us a lot of benefits afterwards. And also another message is there that even though you are getting many more hurdles or problems in your life, then too you should overcome on them and you should live your life happily. You should struggle for your success in your life. Here the poem has finished. I hope students you have understood the poem clearly. Students, let's study figure of speeches from the poem The Cherry Tree. We are going to study the names of the figure of speeches and also its explanation. The first figure of speech which is used in this poem is personification. Now see, in personification, person means human being. When human quality or living things quality is given to any non-living thing is called as personification. Here, the cherry tree is personified again and again. For example, the poet has said that I found a cherry tree has come to stay at my house. So this is an example of personification. Other examples you have to find out. See, personification means what? Human beings. Qualities are given to non-living things or other living things. See, the cherry tree is of course a living thing and you cannot say that it is a non-living thing. So it is a living thing, but the human's quality is given to this cherry tree. So it is a personification. Okay. Now let's study the figure of speech, that is alliteration. Alliteration means what? When the beginning of beginning sound of two words or more words are repeated. That is called as alliteration. For example, who watched wondering why? In this particular example, alliteration figure of speech is used. And also, for example, blue blind sky. Blue blind sky. In this, b sound is repeated. So this is called as sound is repeated. Sound is repeated of nearby words is called as alliteration. Okay. Next figure of speech is imagery. Now try and understand what is called as imagery. There are many types of imageries. For example, nature imagery is there. Then some color imageries are there. Here two imageries are also used over here. For example, the example is there, that is the tree or the plant was very small, like 5 months child. It lost into tall grass running wild. When we are reading this description, our own brain is creating an image. We can imagine that. So it is called as imagery. So that is called as imagery. While reading the description, description म्हणजे वर्णन. We can create an image is called as imagery. आता बघा, जसं मी म्हटलं की स्मॉल चाइल्ड 5 months चाइल्ड जे आहे तर ते टॉल ग्रासमध्ये धावत गेलेले आहेत, ते त्यामध्ये हरवून गेलेले आहे. असं म्हटल्यानंतर तुमच्या डोळ्यांच्या समोर लगेच लहान मूल जे आहे 5 महिन्याचं जे धावत गेले आणि उंच गवतामध्ये हरवून गेले, ही इमेज तयार होते. सो इट इज कॉल्ड एज इमेजरी. देन ब्लू ब्लाइंड स्काय. The stars have turned on the sky. These are the imageries. Or dapple green tree. This is called as color imagery. Now see, COLOUR, color imagery. Dappled green, ज्यामध्ये कलर दर्शवला जातो, that is called as color imagery. Color imagery. Dappled green tree. This is an example of color imagery. Then blue blind sky. This is again the example of color imagery. So these are the examples of imagery that our brain creates an image of the words which we are reading. Also, there is antithesis. Now see, what is antithesis? Antithesis means when the poet is using opposite words is called as antithesis. This is called as using of opposite words. For example, he has said that when I returned from Kashmir, I was thinner, rather poor, but richer to saw the cherry tree at my door. In this particular lines, richer and poor means rich and poor. These words are having opposite meaning, isn't it? Opposite म्हणजे विरोधी शब्द आहेत. richer and poor. Rich म्हणजे श्रीमंत, poor म्हणजे गरीब. So these opposite ideas are used, so it is called as antithesis figure of speech. Okay. Also, students, you have to find out the rhyming pairs of this poem and find out rhyme scheme of the poem.